Aston Villa are absolutely on fire right now. Let's talk about this top three, and we'll start, Tim, with Aston Villa, having just seen them there. But I want to ask you, what could stop each of them from winning the title? So if you look at Villa, what would be their biggest weakness or challenge?
Sure. So you know that I don't have a ton of confidence in the centre-back pairings. I like Konsa, don't love him. And then when you put him with Pau Torres or yesterday, Victor Lindelof, I think there's a weakness there. Again, so much to like about them. The other part of it for me is they haven't, if you ask me, like, can they win a title? They haven't done it. They aren't expected to do it. And so there's a mentality piece to that. Now, did Leicester go on and do that in 2016? Yes. You can win a title without being built to win a title. But that is so difficult. The other teams in this title race are built to win titles. That's why I think they're a little bit short. And
it's why it doesn't happen very often, like you mentioned, Leicester City, which was an absolute anomaly. For you, Villa's weaknesses are what to winning the title?
I just think it's harder for them to win games. The last 9 in all competitions, they've won by a single goal. Did it yesterday against Chelsea, and top marks for the way that they're going about this. You look at the league table, which we saw earlier on, the goal difference is a lot fewer than the top 2 above them, which is kind of another indicator. Of course, points is the main indicator, but the more games go on, the goal difference, you know, is, I think, is kind of important.
Yeah, they're at +10. City are at 26.
Yeah,
and
that's a
Arsenal
big difference.
22.
I mean, it's just tighter. The games look tighter. They're doing brilliantly, amazing kind of jump this season, particularly from where they started from. But to keep winning those games so tightly, and maybe teams will figure out how strong they are in the second half of games, that I just don't see it continuing to win the title.
Let's move on and talk about Manchester City, because we will get to Arsenal in a second, who are also making quite a lot of hard work out of games week in, week out. But Manchester City seem the ones to find at the moment everything rather easy. What would their biggest challenge be? Well,
I still feel with Man City that they're very vulnerable in transition. Nottingham Forest scored a goal yesterday in transition, a counter-attack right from their own goal. They score a goal against Man City. Don't win the game, of course. So I still think that's a problem, though Rodri will mitigate that when he's back, which is very shortly. But I still think, and they've had a run against City where some of the weaker teams in the league, the stronger teams get chances against them, and I just think that's going to be enough to drop enough points. And the other point I'd say about them is, and we talked about it yesterday, this kind of new team for him. You got Tijani Reinders and Ryan Cherki that are new and are finding their feet. Can they be consistent? You know, they combined yesterday for goals and they look really good. You know, Ryan Cherki, is he going to be the man late down the stretch that's going to continue to create and assist? At the moment, brilliant. But let's wait and see when the tougher games come. I think that's what's going to hold him up.
What do you think?
Well, it's that. And so the conceding of goals. So what we know about Manchester City is there's Rodri's the big one. Can he, one, be fit, and 2, can he play all the game? It used to just be Rodri's there, and that's it. Do they have to rest him and chop and change him? If he's in there, way better than Nico Gonzalez for me. The other part is the inverted fullback. So Pep Guardiola basically invented this, right? It was to get the fullback inside, to sort of get a hold of the game and just press the game. They were never exposed. And if they were exposed every now and again, they're not doing the inverted fullback as well or as fluidly, and they're getting exposed. And so I just think there's a little bit of a weakness there. And by the way, it's football. Teams work it out. When he first started doing the inverted fullback, people were like, this is crazy. Where are these numbers coming from? People have worked it out. I mean, yesterday was a perfect example. Igor Jesus, he occupied 2 center backs. We don't often see that. He sort of dominated Ruben Diaz, which we often haven't seen. So there's a little bit of a weakness there.
I also, just to add on Man City's possible problems, when their football's crisp and accurate and they don't give the ball away and there's fewer transitions, great, because, you know, they're not built to defend. Right. And Pep would admit that. So when their football's great, which it is right now against some of these sides, then they dominate. They got the guy up front to score the goals. Foden's having a brilliant season as well. But when that football's not quite as accurate and they turn it over, problems at the back.
Arsenal, Tim, what could their biggest problem be?
Well, it's sort of picking the bones out of it, really, because I do think Arsenal, there aren't many weaknesses. I think the one criticism, you and I talked about it yesterday, they're not putting teams away. They're not going from 1-0 to 2-0 to 3-0 and then seeing the game out. It's been a little bit nervy, but I think in every area they're so incredibly strong. So that would be the one thing for me, trying to make games easier. You talk about Villa not making games easy, but Arsenal just don't seem to have that, like, that instinct at the end, just to
like a killer instinct to put teams away.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with that, and that's, I think, the main point with them. Top goal scorer, Victor Gyökeres, 5 Premier League goals, 2 are penalties. Now, Arsenal have done a great job of spreading the goals around. And if that continues and Saka gets more numbers and maybe starts being a bit more consistent with the goal-scoring part of it, Odegaard and others, then absolutely. But that will be, you know, spreading the goals, keep getting the goals from set pieces, because maybe teams figure it out a little bit better than they have done. So if there's fewer set-piece goals and there's not a big scorer of 15, which is probably not going to be, then going back to the putting teams away, they might drop points. They're not going to lose many games, but they might draw enough not to win the title if City keep it up.
Robbie, what do you think about their mentality? Could it be that they've had so much heartbreak in the past few years that spurs them on, or could that be a scar, a wound that returns?
Well, it's a great question, and it's a really important part of it. I think Lee Dixon would say we're not going to know until March or April, but it is a factor. It's got to be a factor because of the times they've lost it from second place. We all think they're going to do it this year. The squad is better to do it. They look like they're ready to do it. There's the huge desire to do it. But right down the stretch, you know, I don't know whether that is going to come into play.
I do think this team is mature enough, arrogant enough.
They've learned enough, maybe.
They're hungry enough. Yeah, I do think the lessons have been learned. I do.
Yeah, they're battle weary. They've got the scars from previous heartbreaks. OK, we shall see. It's certainly a brilliant title race. Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And for even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.